What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's been a little while. I've been off for about 2 weeks. I've been on a holiday. Little cheeky Christmas holiday, a pre-Christmas holiday. You need it. Everybody needs a little holiday from time to time. Mine was about for 2 weeks, 12 days. I am back now and I am rejuvenated. You know when you go away and you just need a little freshen up? That was me. I needed a little freshen up and I've come back to some fucking massive news, guys. Some monster news. Jude Bellingham, the transfer request, the transfer saga, his performances in the World Cup with Liverpool's interest, Real Madrid's interest, everything. The whole dynamic. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about some news specifically that has come out in the last couple of days, and we're going to touch on it all. And I'm going to give you my educated opinion, whether or not I think the Liverpool are going to get Jude Bellingham, and whether or not I think he might go to somewhere else. You know, there is that potential. We got to understand that this guy is the most hot property in the world right now, and that he could end up anywhere. It really depends on that. So, yeah, look, he might want to go to Liverpool. That might be true. And that's what the reports are. And we'll delve into that in a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's whether or not Liverpool can fork out the money. That's the question. That's my question right now. And I think it's a lot of people's question that's involved with Liverpool. It's whether or not they're going to fork out the money. But I'm going to delve in to everything. We're going to break it down. And I'm going to show you all the links that are currently being discussed right now. So let's go through all the articles and let's break it down, guys. So first things first, this is Liverpool Echo. So Liverpool Echo is a pretty reliable source. It's like, you know, you can go to Sky Sports, you can go to others, Daily Mirror and whatever, and you'll have some reliable topics, but they tend to, Sky Sports initially kind of grab articles from everywhere, and then that's how they report it. But the Liverpool Echo is obviously the Liverpool Echo. So there is a touch of reliability here. Obviously, it still could be bullshit, but there is a touch of reliability. I like to go here first for my reports. So first off, Jude Bellingham to Liverpool transfer, very, very close claim as price tag revealed. So let's just scroll down here. Let's read a little bit into this, and then we'll talk about it. So transfer interest from the Reds is long-standing, yet there is set to be a battle to bring him to Anfield, which we just mentioned, from Real Madrid, PSG, and obviously Manchester City. He's close with Trent Alexander-Arnold. His midfielder idolized Steven Gerrard, which pretty much most people do. And this is the key link for me here, is there was an interview done with the Borussia Dortmund sporting director, and if you haven't seen that interview, go watch it. I think it's very enticing. It's an interview that gets you excited if you're a Liverpool fan. I'll just leave it at that. So go watch it if you can. But basically, it says here that Borussia Dortmund has hinted that Liverpool would be the preferred club to do business with. Obviously, they've got the links with Klopp. We know that. And I'm assuming that there's always been a good relationship there between the two clubs. So I think that they would like to do business with Liverpool. They'd probably look at Liverpool as a kind of the same sort of model and setup as themselves. You know, look at Manchester City and PSG. We know what they are. They're just kind of oil money. And look, Liverpool might be oil money soon too, so I can't say too much about that. But I think that Dortmund would like to do business with Klopp, and Liverpool seems to be a little bit more of a preferred choice. That is said by the sporting director. Plenty is being said about Bellingham. Here's a roundup of reports. Very close to signing. So Christian Falk, right, is from Sports Bild. He is a journalist that's involved with Bayern Munich. So he has a lot of insight into the Bundesliga and has a lot of insight into players, right? So first off, he goes to speak about, obviously, the moves from the Premier League with Haaland left us to go to the Premier League, and now Bellingham and Musiala from Bayern Munich. They're obviously looking at being transfers for clubs in England. But here's the thing with Liverpool and Bellingham. Let's look at this right here. Christian Falk, head of football at German publication Bild, gave a fresh take on Bellingham's situation, and it could offer plenty of encouragement given he was right in the past about Liverpool's interest in Thiago. So let's just delve back in and really play this out for Christian Falk. So Christian Falk was the first person who announced that Liverpool were interested in Thiago, and that ended up being fucking true. That kind of come from nowhere. If you remember, if you're a Liverpool fan, when we initially got Thiago, that kind of just come from nowhere. There was no massive links, and then all of a sudden, we got him. You know what I mean? So now it's the same with Jude Bellingham. He's given his little tweet on this, and this morning he said, true, Liverpool are favourites to sign Jude Bellingham from Borussia Dortmund next summer. Talks are advanced more than Real Madrid. The family of Bellingham prefers the transfer to Liverpool. Now, that's really, really key there. The family of Bellingham prefers the transfer to Liverpool. So for me, if they prefer the transfer to Liverpool over Manchester City and there's no other English club that he wants to go to, that's a very, very good sign. Obviously, PSG have come out and said that they want Bellingham. He's hugely impressed with amazing Jude Bellingham. There's no doubt about that. Look, there's going to be interest everywhere. We've said that. Now you come down to here. Liverpool learn Bellingham price tag. Borussia Dortmund would demand 100 million euros to 150. That's kind of the region that they're looking at, right? So that's according to Sky's Germany Forum Plattenberg, who adds Liverpool players, are still pushing to help win the race with Dortmund stars. Obviously, Jordan Henderson and Trent Alexander-Arnold are going guns blazing. If you haven't seen the World Cup, they're really going for him. But here's what I wanted to talk about in terms of how can Liverpool get this done and how can Liverpool structure this deal to get it done? Because I know that, and we all know, that FSG don't just pay money out. They usually don't. We usually have to sell a player before we put large amounts of money in. We've done it so many times before, obviously with Darwin Núñez, Van Dijk, Alisson, all those type of signings. We had to sell before we bought them. But this is where I think Liverpool can get this done. Yes, it's a large amount of money. Yes, it's the biggest amount of money we'll probably ever spend. But if we could tie in the Naby Keita with the Jude Bellingham deal, which I think is a real possibility here. Naby Keita doesn't want to be at Liverpool. I think we can all understand that. Hasn't played a game this year. Is he really injured? I don't know. It's kind of a bit wish-washy. I'm not sure. Anyway, so with the Naby Keita deal, is he going to go to Dortmund? I think he could. I think that Liverpool would want to offer that up. They would want to offer Naby Keita as part of the exchange. And I reckon that you could maybe look at 85 to 90 million pounds plus Naby Keita will get the job done. I think that Dortmund would take that, considering you're getting a midfielder back. Yes, he's still kind of in his prime. He's, 26, 27. So he's not exactly old, and he just needs a bit of a fresh start. Goes back to the Bundesliga where he was initially probably at his best. I think that's a good move for Dortmund. Obviously, I'm trying to sweeten the deal here because I want Bellingham. But I think if that's that potential, there's not many other clubs that can offer something back. Real Madrid can't really offer anything back. Man City could offer something back, but they probably wouldn't. The next article here is Real Madrid interest hands Liverpool blow. Does it? Spanish giants Real Madrid appear to be one of the biggest obstacles for Liverpool. I don't really know. I don't think that Bellingham really wants to go there. I don't think so. Liverpool agents hard at work. Jurgen Klopp, World Cup brief for Jordan Henderson and Trent Alexander was to butter up Jude Bellingham. Look, that could be true. Bellingham's response to Liverpool transfer question. So speaking about Bellingham, who was next to him in the post-match, Henderson said, I've said it many times, he's a one-off. We need to let him enjoy playing football. He's only 19. He's been incredible at this tournament, but also for a long period of time now at Dortmund. He's carried it on in this tournament. Hopefully he just carry on from strength to strength. Journalists follow up saying, and Liverpool in the future. After an awkward pause, Henderson laughed and walked off. And as he made his exit, Bellingham shouted, you've ruined it for all of us. So, look, I don't know. Is it already been sorted? This is the thing, guys. There's a lot of transfers like this, a lot of big transfers. These get sorted out a long time in advance. And I'm just sort of wondering if this has all kind of already been wrapped up. We could be seeing that this has kind of already been wrapped up and we're just waiting for the news to be announced. Like, is it a case that in January the deal will be done and he comes next summer? I don't think Jude Bellingham's going to come this January. I don't see that happening. But maybe the deal gets done in January and maybe the clubs have already spoken. Maybe Klopp's already spoken to Bellingham. We just don't know. But the fact that the reports are coming out now that his parents want Liverpool, that's massive for me. We know how much parents have a massive impact on young players' lives when they are their agents. So massive, massive, massive news for me, I reckon, guys. Because Liverpool can end up with Jude Bellingham. And I've said this before. That's pretty much the end of the article there. So I'm just going to wrap this up. And I've said this before, guys. I've said this many a times. Many a times. I even said this at the start of the year before we even went in and got Darwin Núñez and Jude Bellingham or whatever, before all the transfers went in. I said if Liverpool could get Jude Bellingham, that would make them firm title contenders. I really do think that. You've got to look at the structure of Liverpool's midfield right now. We're getting a little bit older. Henderson's getting a bit older. He's still a valuable player, don't get me wrong. Thiago's older. Fabinho, for some reason, doesn't look like the player he used to be. Thiago's injury prone. We know all that type of stuff. If you get someone like Jude Bellingham, who's a generational talent, 19 years old, he's going to be in your midfield for the next, 10, 12 years. I think you have to pull the trigger on that. You can't let another club like Manchester City, Real Madrid get this guy, especially if he's interested. You have to go make it happen, particularly because he's English. He can be that next number 8. Let's give him the number 8. Let's give it to him. If he doesn't want to, give him a number, because sometimes numbers do make people, it gives them that kind of expectation. So maybe don't give him number 8. But I just think that, and I've said it all along, that if Liverpool get Jude Bellingham, I think they are firm title contenders. I think the rest of the squad is pretty good. I really do. We know that the midfield's not as strong this year. And we do need some other improvements other than Jude Bellingham. That's obvious. But he would be the absolute perfect signing. There was one thing that got reported this morning. I cannot find the article, but I found lots of reports on it. Whether or not it's true, don't quote me. Have a look for yourself. Apparently, Jude Bellingham is going to hand in a transfer request in January. So whether or not that's true, it's been reported. Again, if that is true, that kind of links in with everything. Right now, this is one piece of advice you've got to look at with this, and this is going to be my final thing before I go. There's been no ground made with any other club, Real Madrid, Manchester City, PSG, nothing. There's been no close talks. There's been no communication with Dortmund and the club. It's only been Liverpool. It's always been about Liverpool. So that tells me that it is genuine interest. It is genuine. It's very, very close. The thing is, are Liverpool going to be able to afford it? That's it. That's the only thing. Because at the end of the day, if Liverpool say, oh, we're going to offer 85 and that's it, and Manchester City come in and say, we'll give you 150 right now, Dortmund could take it. So it's one of those. Liverpool have to fork out the money to get Jude. They have to get it done. It's the only thing that's going to stop it. That's the only thing. I don't think that Jude not wanting to come is going to be it. It's going to be just about whether or not, or FSG rather, can spend the fucking cash. So that about wraps it up, guys. It's a bit of a long video, but I had to talk about Jude Bellingham. My God, just a monster transfer saga. This has to go through. If it goes through, I'm going to be so fucking happy. Make sure you're following the Twitch streams. I'm doing the World Cup live. We'll be doing the quarterfinals, semifinals, unlikely, but I'll try. And then obviously the final. So make sure you're checking out the streams. I'll leave the Twitch in the description down below. So as usual, guys, make sure you're subscribed, following, liking, all that good stuff. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.